You ever feel like you're winning every argument but losing every person? I spent my 20s thinking communication was a weapon. I thought if I was the smartest guy in the room, if I had the sharpest comeback or the most logical solution, I was winning at life. Then, a few years back, I'm sitting in this dim-lit diner in Brooklyn. My best friend is across from me. His world is falling apart. Family stuff, career stuff, the works. And there I am, being helpful. I'm giving him a 10-point plan. I'm quoting Stoic philosophy. I'm being efficient. He stops me. He doesn't get mad. He just looks at me with this hollow exhaustion and says, "Man, you're saying all the right things, but you aren't hearing a single word." That hit me harder than any insult ever could. I realized right then that I wasn't a communicator. I was just a noisemaker. We spend years learning how to talk, but we never actually learn how to connect. Today, I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm just reflecting on 4 words, 4 realms of conduct that forced me to unlearn everything I thought I knew about success. Pillar 1, empathy, the weight of the other side. The first word is empathy. And before you roll your eyes because you've seen it on too many corporate posters, let's get real. Empathy in the American sense is often confused with pity or sympathy. Pity is looking down into a hole and saying, "Man, that sucks that you're down there." Empathy is climbing down into the dirt, sitting in the dark with them and saying, "I don't have a flashlight, but I'm here." I used to be terrified of that. Why? Because it's inefficient, it hurts, it takes time. But if you want to master the art of being a human being, you have to realize that people don't want your solutions until they know you felt their problem. Think about Lincoln. The guy was presiding over a nation literally tearing itself limb from limb. The hate he received wasn't just internet comments, it was visceral, bloody hatred. There's a story about a young officer who failed a mission and was set to be court-martialed. Lincoln sat him down. He didn't lecture him on duty. He talked to him about the crushing weight of failure. He shared his own episodes of melancholy, what we'd now call clinical depression. Lincoln didn't lead through a megaphone. He led through a mirror. He showed people their own humanity by being brave enough to show his. He understood that to lead a man, you must first respect the burden he's carrying. Are we doing that? Or are we just waiting for our turn to speak? Pillar 2, listening, the silence between the lines. The second word is listening, real listening, not the "I'm waiting for you to finish so I can tell my story" kind of listening. We live in a culture of the pitch. We're always selling ourselves, our ideas, our brand. But the most powerful people I've ever met, they're the quietest. They treat every conversation like a crime scene where they're looking for clues about who you really are. The modern icon, Steve Jobs and the power of quiet. Everyone remembers Steve Jobs for the black turtleneck and the stage presentations. They think he was a loud-mouthed visionary. But Johnny Ive, the design genius behind the iPhone, said the most remarkable thing about Steve wasn't his talk, it was his ability to shut up. When they were in the design studio, Jobs wouldn't start by barking orders. He'd sit, he'd touch the aluminum, he'd listen to the engineers explain why something was impossible. He wasn't listening to agree, he was listening to understand the boundaries. He knew that the best idea in the room wasn't always his. It was the one that hadn't been whispered yet. Are you listening to the people in your life, or are you just checking your watch? Because the moment someone feels heard, their defenses drop. That's not a tactic, that's a biological fact. Pillar 3, respect, the ego death. The third realm is respect, and I'm not talking about being polite. I'm talking about a fundamental recognition that the person standing in front of you knows something you don't. In America, we're built on the self-made man. We love the idea that we're the heroes of our own movies. But the hero's journey is lonely as hell if you don't respect the supporting cast. True respect is when you disagree with someone fundamentally, politically, spiritually, whatever. And you still look at them and think, your life experience led you here, and that's valid. It's about realizing that different isn't wrong. When you respect the other person, you're actually respecting yourself enough to believe your ego isn't so fragile that it needs everyone to be a clone of you. Pillar 4. Vulnerability, the final frontier. The last word is the one that scares us the most: vulnerability. We live in a world of filters. We edit our photos, we edit our captions, and eventually we start editing our souls. We think that success means being bulletproof. But let me tell you something. Nobody falls in love with a statue. People connect with the cracks. I spent years trying to look like I had it all together. I thought that's what a successful American man looked like. It was exhausting, and it was a lie. The philosopher king, Marcus Aurelius. 2,000 years ago, the most powerful man on earth was Marcus Aurelius. He was the Roman emperor. He could have anyone killed with a flick of his wrist. But when you read his private journals, the meditations, you don't see a guy bragging about his empire. You see a man who is scared of getting older, a man who struggles to get out of bed in the morning, a man who tells himself to be kind even when people are jerks. He was vulnerable with himself. He admitted his weaknesses so he could turn them into strengths. If an emperor can admit he's struggling, why can't we? Why are we so afraid to say, I don't know, or I'm struggling, or I need help? That's not weakness. That's the highest form of courage. So there it is. 4 words: empathy, listening, respect, vulnerability. None of this is standard success advice. You won't find this in a How to Make $1 Million seminar. But at the end of the day, when the lights go out and the phone stops buzzing, all we really have is how we treated the people around us. I'm still working on it. I fail at these 4 things every single day. I get impatient. I get arrogant. I close off. But the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be aware. I'm curious, which one of these is the hardest for you? Drop a comment. Let's talk about it. No pressure, no guru vibes, just a conversation. If this resonated with you, I'd love to have you around for the next one. Hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. It helps me keep these going. But more importantly, next time you're in a conversation, try to be down in the hole with someone. See what happens. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you in the next one.